My husband has been behind bars 633 days today. The FBI came and raided our house. He was 7 years law enforcement when they came in on January 6th. The same videos that the government used to charge him with exonerate him if they would only turn on the audio and if they would not tailor it in front of the judge. So he has 4 felony charges on him, 3 misdemeanors. He's facing 68 years in prison. He is now 29. He's missed 2 birthdays, 2 holidays, 2 everything. And I just kind of want to give you what it looks like in our life as a J6 family. Thankfully, we don't have any children, but on August 17th, 2021, I received a call from the FBI saying that they had apprehended my husband and they were going to raid our house. They were at our house for 5 hours. They took 14 items, including our flag on our front porch. It was 597 days before I saw him behind glass for 30 minutes talking on a telephone. I have gone 5 days without knowing where my husband is at. Now, mind you, he knows this system. He was law enforcement 7 years. He's been at 7 different facilities. It's called diesel therapy if you look it up. It's a form of punishment in the U.S. He's been held in 24/7 solitary confinement, which is illegal. For 7 days, he wasn't allowed to shower, make a phone call. His family had no idea where he was. He's now held in 23-1, and they are in 4x4 cells. You can walk 2 steps, and then you have to walk back. They have nothing but a bed, a 1-inch mattress. He hasn't had a pillow in 633 days. He's lost 60 pounds. All at one point he had was a Bible and a jail handbook. We ask ourselves, this is going on in D.C. On September 5th, 2022, I found out from a call from a gentleman, another man inside the facility, that my husband was assaulted. He wasn't wearing a COVID mask while taking oral medication, and a lieutenant sprayed an entire can of OC spray in his eyes, 1 inch from his face. Mind you, he was taking oral medication, and they have lived in this facility. At this point, he had been there for over a year in what we would consider a living room, not allowed to leave. They didn't have visitation, they didn't have haircuts, they didn't have religious services, so they literally lived in this living room. But he got in trouble for not wearing a COVID mask while taking oral medication. She walked up to him, said that he had assaulted her and sprayed him with OC spray, which is a higher form of bear mace. The same thing that they are charging January 6 defendants with is what he got assaulted with. They threw him on the ground, handcuffed him, and again sprayed him with another can of OC spray, saying that he was not complying. The pod then got in an uproar and started yelling at this lieutenant, and they tried to charge him with inciting a riot. They left him in a cell for 13 hours without a shower while this reactivated on his skin. They finally gave him a shower, and he said, "Sarah, the only way I can explain it to you is you have a sunburn and you hop into a hot tub." That's how it felt when they were trying to treat this. Their way of taking care of this, he was kicked out of the facility and went to 3 different facilities. That lieutenant is now gone, and there is legal action against the U.S. Marshals and the facility itself. But this is a never-ending thing for us. People ask me how I get through this, and I say 1 day at a time, because that's how often things can change. I got a call at 5 a.m. one morning because it was from another inmate at another facility telling me that he was being moved again. So my whole day I had no idea. I just had to start praying and ask God to protect him, because he's not only protective custody because he's a J6er, he's also protective custody because he's a cop. And anybody that knows law enforcement, when you are on the other side of the wall, you are a target. So, this is how our life has looked for the last 633 days. He will be behind bars 26 months before he steps in front of a judge for a jury trial. At that point, he is one of 4, as of right now, could get bigger. He's one of 4 that will be tried in front of the same jury in D.C. because they are not allowed to change a venue. Again, D.C. is not a jury of his peers. There's a 97% conviction rate right now. He is facing 68 years of his life for standing up for somebody, trying to save a woman's life on January 6th, and helping an officer. Again, all of this is on video, 10 minutes of his life, and the government has acknowledged he never hurt anybody that day, yet he is still being persecuted. In September, after my husband was assaulted, I decided I can't stay quiet anymore, because we have to be a voice for the voiceless. And so we created the Real J6 with another gentleman, Shane Jenkins, who is also inside, just got found guilty on 10 charges, facing 10 to 15 years in prison. And we knew that our fight was far from over. So we created the Real J6, and we Just recently, we haven't even hardly announced it yet. We just filed for 501c3 nonprofit for prison reform, reentry, and family services. Because even when these guys get out, the damage has already been done. They can release them in the next 5 seconds. Doesn't matter. They've been in there 2 years, haven't seen their family, their loved ones, even via video. They have just completely destroyed their lives. So we know our fight's far from over. As soon as these guys get out, we have to make sure that this will never happen again, because I promise you, if they're going to come after somebody like my husband, they're going to come after you. It's only a matter of time.